Chat, I've got a poll for you. I want everybody to let me know, is this a man sideways, or is this a squid? What's your opinion? Alien man sideways?
What the heck?
Alien man sideways or squid?
Dreamcatcher.
Sound off in the chat.
It's in the name of the map.
Nope. Nope. Not accepting a Dreamcatcher as an answer.
Why?
Alright, if you're tasteless, you have to do the introductions.
Alright. You're observing still, right?
Yeah. So I'll give you one.
Alright, so spawning down here in the bottom right hand corner of Dreamcatcher, we have our red Terran player, Pandaiga. And spawning in the top left hand corner, Zerg playing for PsiX. We have OFE.
And the crowd goes wild.
Right, so we have a PvZ here on Dreamcatcher, which is a kind of non-standard map in the grand scheme of things. It has a lot of these sort of features where there's rocks and weird attack paths, so the games can get really exciting on this map.
Yeah, we see lots of Terran abuse on this map, tank pushes and such, or even just lots of bio play, pick up and drop, kind of shooting Zerglings on the whichever side of these walls the Zerglings are not.
Yeah, this is definitely the sort of like siege style map. Terran has so many positions where they can be abusive with tanks. Here.
Right,
Here.
Exactly. And on sort of the flip side of things, Zerg is sort of better than the other races at kind of abusing gold bases, which the map also has a few of, right? Not these ones, but just these two, I believe? Yeah. It's just the two in the upper right. And it is kind of a weird shape as well, just with these, somewhat ambiguous spaces that are kind of in the middle of the map.
Yeah, I don't think I have ever seen anyone take this space. Ever.
Yeah, it's just too... I think it would have to be an ultra late game. It's too much in the push path, really.
Yeah, like... For all we know, the map developer put a doodad there so you can't build a nexus, and just no one's discovered it yet.
Yeah, very true. So, what do we have? We've got Hjax and Reactor and Factory for Pan. We got Speed just started for OFE. We've got drones pulled back out of gas except for one, and 4 safety lings. The Reaper is just now arriving.
And we see some nice Reaper control. He already got himself a drone.
I've been on the receiving end of a Pan Reaper a handful of times, and it never feels very good.
So far, both players are opening pretty normally. It looks like we have the potential for, well, not a Hellion build. A tank push build, perhaps? From Pan, or a Banshee build? I was expecting him to swap the factory under the reactor and go for a Hellion build, but it seems he has something else in mind.
Yeah. Third base goes down for OFE. I don't really particularly like this choice of location. Do you, Hjax, in ZVT?
I don't think it really matters. I think both of the thirds have annoying siege locations, so it's like both of them can be equally abused. Like, I don't think the top base is any better.
I guess my thought is just that it's such a short distance by air to drop bio back and forth. And I mean, it's pretty bad here too. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it would not be to my taste, but I'm not a good Zerg.
Alright, so we have a Cloaked Banshee build coming out here from Pan. And so far there's actually been no scouting of this build from the Zerg, and he hasn't started spores, and he doesn't have a layer on the way. So it's entirely possible that the Zerg is just caught with his pants down here.
Let's see. This Banshee is rallied. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Which base is it destined for? The third?
And Pan's starting a third CC, so he's going into a nice long macro play with strong harass from the Cloaked Banshee.
So still no spores. About 1 queen per base for Hjax. Yeah, this Banshee's gonna do some work. Looks like
the main issue with builds like the one Pan's doing is he actually can't put any pressure on the Zerg besides this Banshee, but fortunately the Zerg just does not have detection, and Cloak is about to finish.
There it is.
Well, see how many kills this Banshee can get. Drones are transferring away out of the main, but there's still no detection, so this Banshee's dealing a ton of damage.
Yeah. I think it might actually run out of energy before it before the Zerg gets detection.
I mean, there's spores in the bases now, so this Banshee's reign of terror has ended. But 8 kills is nice. Definitely not game-ending damage, but nice. But yeah, we can see that Pan's transition is very late game focused, right? He doesn't have Stim even started, and he's just adding on new barracks now. So he's getting upgrades. He has a 3rd CC, but there isn't going to be like a big Stim timing or a big tank push anytime soon, just because like the rest of his build is so late game focused. He's building tanks, he's getting upgrades, but he doesn't actually have a lot of push potential.
Right. So really, it's pretty favorable for the Zerg to expand again at this point.
Yep, the Zerg should be thinking about a 4th base right now for sure.
Yeah, certainly not good for OFE if Pan is able to actually land and secure this 3rd base, and Zerg does not yet have a 4th. Looks like Bane speed is on its way here for OFE. And a bit oversaturated on this gas.
There's another Banshee that just moved in, but there was an Overseer and 4 Queens waiting for it, so it was taken out.
Unfortunate. Unfortunate for Pan. See, I don't know that this Overlord actually knows what's going on here. I mean, you could certainly see the bio here and think that Terran is maybe taking the space, but
I mean, you can, if the Zerg player can see the SCVs transferring, so he has a pretty good idea, I'd imagine.
That makes sense.
So right now we get to the kind of boring stage of the game with both players macroing up. Adding production. Pan's finally up to 5 barracks, so his unit count will start growing rapidly.
Stim and Combat Shield underway, finally.
His 2-2 is starting as well. Like, he's in a good place in terms of getting to the late game, but he's still not scary in terms of, like, winning the game soon.
Right. I like this Banshee on hold position. It's kind of an early warning system that also kind of can kill a ling or two here and there.
There's a bunch of Banelings moving into the
third.
No! So many workers they can get.
So many Banelings.
And that wasn't really worth it for the Zerg, to be honest. He got like 4 or 5 workers, but he lost like 10 Banelings.
Yeah, I think maybe...
Now he's doing the same thing in the natural. Maybe this one will be more successful. Oh, he's in range of tanks.
Yeah, that's...
Just does nothing.
Not exactly what you want as a Zerg. So big Ling push. Again, though, I think the tank positioning is just too good here. Yeah, OFE agrees. It's also more Marines than Lings, I think, so that's not really an engagement that you want. Now, 4th base is finally taken for OFE, but not really saturated yet.
And after throwing away that many units, we have a pretty decisive advantage for Pan here. He's up 30 supply, or 25 supply.
Yeah.
23 supply. Math is hard. But he's supply blocked, so I imagine his supply will shoot up as soon as his depot finishes.
Right.
Or as soon as he does a call down.
And upgrade's not on the go here for OFE, so this 2-2 for Pan finishing is going to be a big deal. Ooh, those were juicier hits, though. That was a good chunk of SCVs decimated there. And we're going to need, some repair on this CC here.
This Zerg's playing a really interesting style. He's actually just been staying on Ling Bane, and he's being so aggressive, which I feel like can be a problem. Because, like, Ling Bane isn't actually that strong. It's like the composition people play when they want to not die until they get to the bigger tech units that are strong. Like, being aggressive with that is so scary, right? You throw away all your Ling Bane, and you don't have any meaty units that are coming out right away to defend a push.
Right. And
like he's teching up to Hive right now. In fact, his Hive just finished, so he probably can go into Ultras now, I believe will be his plan.
But yeah, it's very interesting. Like, it's not favorable for the Zerg to be, you know, continually pushing with that into these tank lines. You'd be much better served to take those engagements if Terran moves out on the map and is, you know, caught unsieged with a
yeah, and then otherwise you just keep droning and living happy Zerg life.
Right.
All right, so we see a big push out finally coming from Pan, and he has Stim, he has combat shields, he has 2/2, and he has what, 6 tanks. This is actually a scary push, and because his opponent threw away so much Ling Bane earlier, he doesn't actually have a very scary army to contest this. He's up 40 supply, and the Zerg's at 90 drones, which means the Zerg's army supply is really small here. And Pan's setting up a really good siege position, which is going to be pretty much impossible for the Zerg to break unless his Ultras come out.
Nice
He
little,
hasn't started any.
Nice little attack path here by the Zerg, but there's just too many tanks positioned too well, I think, for this to really matter. Good splits by Pan.
A huge amount of Ling Bane comes crashing in, but it doesn't kill all the tanks. There's still 3 left, and there's plenty of Marines still on this half of the map, as well as another reinforcement army waiting at home in case it becomes necessary. Like, this is just a huge advantage for Pan right now.
Yeah, really, really big swing, and I guess it's kind of us seeing play out what you were describing beforehand, right? That OFE kind of set themselves up for this type of punish to happen, and we see that Pan picks up on it and is able to execute.
Yeah, so at this point we're starting to see kind of desperation mode from OFEs, like, I need to do Ling run bys and like get your army off of my half of the map until my Ultras come out. Because like, he went up to 90 drones. I think he still has a good number, he still has 83 drones, so all he needs to do is survive until he's maxed out, and then he's back in this game. But he needs to buy that time first.
Right. And the run-bys do okay. Pan doesn't have a complete wall here that's available. Got a nice little drop harass attacking that investment station pit. I don't know that that's necessarily the greatest target, right?
There are also burrowed banelings in the middle of the map.
Ooh, I did not catch that.
We'll have to watch out for those.
Yeah.
But fortunately for Pan, he's moving along the top side where there are no burrowed banelings, and he's going to set up another good siege position here and push into the third. There are Ultras out now, but Ultras aren't fully upgraded yet because the Zerg doesn't have 3/3, and there's a lot of tanks here which do really well against.
Yeah. No Lings, only Banes, kind of interesting. I was a bit worried about how clumped up the tanks were against that many Banes, but they just, even with that number, can't actually connect.
I mean, siege tanks one-shot banelings, and their AoE even one-shots banelings, I believe. Like, the banelings go away. These siege tanks do have +1 attack.
I actually hadn't caught that. So, when Terrans do Marine tank, is it common to get +1 attack for the tanks?
Oh yeah, because you have to get the armory anyway to unlock 2/2 on your e-base. So like, why not make your tanks better?
And so you'll go all the way up to 3-0 if you're playing Marine tank on the vehicle.
I feel like at some point you're gonna want to start transitioning into air, just because Marine tank doesn't scale that well into the late game. Once it's like Broodlord Ultra and Fester, right? That comp will just destroy Marine tank. Marine tank is a very good mid game comp because it's pretty mobile and has really high DPS, which means it can kind of burst through these like Ling Bane Hydra balls that are common in the mid game. But it's not going to be robust once the big late game units start to come out. We see a nice Ling counterattack. Attacking some of the production of Pan, but he doesn't really care, and he's going to push into this 5th base and probably kill it. The Ultras are here to defend, but there's just so many units from the Terran.
Right. And the Ultras really, really do not want to take an engagement with Libs, although the Libs aren't sieging.
And meanwhile, there was a drop on the top side of the map, which seems to have done some damage at the 3rd base, although more drones are transferring in.
Yeah. It looked like a drone pull and then return to me. And
there's Lings in Pan's 3rd base. It seems to have set the CC on fire and killed all the workers there, but I'm not sure it's really going to matter. He picks up and boosts into the main, which is an interesting decision because it seems like it left all of his tanks to die, but he should be able to kill a lot of tech in this main. He might be able to get the Hive and or the Ultralisk Cavern, which will really put a damper on the Zerg's
Looks like he
plans.
eventually attacks the hive, but the
So he gets the
Ultra
hive,
Cannon-
he boosts out, and right now the Zerg's in a pretty weird place, right? He has
Yeah.
2 hatcheries,
right.
and like I guess a base and a half of mining. But the Terran just has so many orbitals that his mining isn't actually that bad, despite how much damage the counterattacks did. And meanwhile, he can just make a ton of units and like while dropping and keeping the Zerg at home. And this is going to be really frustrating if the Zerg wants to ever try to move across the map and go win the game.
Right, makes sense. I do like the move by OFE to take the gold base. I think in this position you kind of have to do something, but I don't think that this is favorable by any means.
And suddenly, libs siege up on both of OFE's remaining bases, so now he just can't mine at all. Which is, once again, just really frustrating when you're already in a bad position and you know that the Terran is just dropping the Mule Hammer at home and remaking his big army. Like, this is just like, the Zerg is very sad here.
Bloody game, a lot of worker kills on both sides.
Yeah, but like right now, Pan has still maintained his decisive advantage even though the game has started to get a little messy. Like, drones are getting picked off by the drop, the Ultras are out of position, they're coming back home now, but it's too late. So many drones have already died, and now Pan's up 100 supply. Like, the Zerg is just getting picked apart here, and there's nothing really left he can do. His units are so immobile, and he doesn't really have anything that can kill medevacs or liberators that like he's just getting torn apart.
Yeah, no anti-air whatsoever, and so there's and that is a lot of liberators.
There's libs and Thors and marauders, and the ultras are just charging into their death, and there's GG.
I was gonna say if GG didn't come soon, that was a fantasy GG timing with that many libs against Ultra.